Ivy quietly admits, "My parents sided with the village head. That's why I had to run away." Back at her tent, Ivy reflects on everything. The village that cast her out, and this one that's accepted her with open arms. I was unwanted there, but here, people care. Maybe this is where I truly belong. But just as she settles into that thought, danger finds her again. While setting traps in the woods, Ivy spots two familiar thugs, the ones from earlier. One of them sneers, "That's the brat! Because of you, my friend got arrested." He demands that Ivy hand over her rare slime, Sora, or else. Ivy bolts. They chase her, but bam! One of them falls into a trap she set earlier. The girl thug tries to block her escape, but then Seal arrives. With one growl, both thugs freeze. The girl faints on the spot and the guy runs for his life, only to be knocked out and dragged back by Seal. Later, Ivy reports everything to Captain Octo, who confirms it. Those four adventurers were wanted. They were robbing and threatening newbies. Two of them were even murderers. As a reward, Ivy gets 3 guidals. And as always, she pulls out her fingers and starts calculating her earnings. So after all the chaos, Ivy is finally taken to the guild by Captain Octo to open her own account. She places her finger on the crystal, and like magic, a digital screen pops up. After a quick verification process, she deposits all her money and receives her very own guild card. She's finally official. Just as they step outside, Valivra shows up, slightly out of breath. "Captain, I've been looking for you everywhere." Apparently Octo forgot to mention something important. Classic Octo. The group starts talking about their star rankings. Basically, how skilled they are. One adventurer casually mentions she has a 4-star skill. Then Octo looks at Ivy. "So, how many stars do you have?" Ivy quietly responds, "Well, I'm a tamer." But she avoids giving a number. Octo reassures her, "Stars don't define your worth. There are people with 5 stars who are useless and some with just 1 who are absolute legends." Soon, Ivy sets off again, heading toward the city near the capital, a place she promised to visit. Valivra and Octo wave her off, but something clicks in their minds. Wait, Ivy's not a boy, is she? They realize the truth. Ivy is the same girl who was banished from Latomi village years ago. Octo sighs. She's still hiding her identity. I guess she doesn't fully trust us yet. Whatever happened to her must have been awful. Cut to Ivy chasing Sora through the fields. He's darting around like crazy, and Ivy's trying to catch up. They arrive at an open meadow, and Ivy suddenly freezes. The ground is torn up. Something big did this. Could it be Nunoshi? The thought terrifies her. But then Seal appears and lightens the mood. They goof around for a bit, and later sit down under the stars, enjoying a quiet meal together. The next morning, Ivy checks her traps and finds nothing. No meat, no food. That's a problem. As she looks around worriedly, she senses something nearby. She runs, but there's nowhere to go. A massive ravine blocks her path. Suddenly, Seal growls fiercely and whatever it was vanishes. Ivy climbs on Seal's back and they dash off, but the danger isn't over. She spots ogres, big ones. One attacks. Seal jumps into battle while Ivy escapes into a weird, eerie forest. But the ogres chase her down. Just as she's about to be attacked, a fireball bursts through the trees, sending the monsters flying back. Enter the elite squad. A group of powerful adventurers shows up, blasting the ogres with fire and swords. One even shoots an arrow right through an ogre's chest. It's intense. Within minutes, the entire ogre squad is wiped out. The next morning, Ivy wakes up safely surrounded by the elite group. They explain that they were sent here to deal with the ogre threat, and all the traps in the area were theirs. One of the men, Jack, introduces himself as the leader of the group. "Are you all right, kid?" he asks gently. As they walk to their camp, Ivy sees something that makes her heart jump. Seal is alive, but she quickly shoos her away, worried the others might try to capture her. At the base camp, adventurers are bustling around, training, cooking, laughing. It feels safe, peaceful. The others leave Ivy with Latrua, the team's quirky flame user. Together, they prep dinner. Latrua admits, "People usually roast me for my cooking, but I've got 3-star flame powers." Ivy helps him cook, and when everyone eats, they're all shocked, tears running down their faces. "Is it that bad?" Ivy asks. "No, it's amazing." Turns out, they've just never tasted something this good. Inspired by the compliments, Latrua sets off fireworks using his magic, lighting up the sky. Ivy is mesmerized. She gets an idea. Why not make it even better? With Mila's help, Ivy starts collecting different metals. They give them to Latrua and ask him to try again. This time, the fireworks are dazzling. Everyone is stunned. As they're cleaning up, Ivy offers to help, but they stop her. You've done enough. Go rest. But Latrua, clearly overwhelmed, pulls her into a hug. You're like the little brother I never had. Ivy chuckles nervously, still hiding her true identity. Later, she's back in her tent, feeding Sora some blue potions. These people, they're really kind, she thinks. Meanwhile, one of the elite adventurers, Shefali, sits quietly, thinking about Ivy. He's just a kid, but he's already come so far. None of them know the truth, that he is actually a she. Next day, Ivy's out scavenging in the dumping grounds again and finds some good potions for Sora. But then she notices something. 2 rare slimes quietly resting nearby. Just then, Mila arrives and tells her, "They're mine. Be careful. These slimes are rare enough to eat through swords." So here's a crazy thing about this world. Anyone who can control rare slimes automatically earns a higher status in society. And guess what? Mila's one of them. She casually mentions that she's pretty well known among the bigwigs. Like, even nobles respect her. She's that powerful. Meanwhile, the rest of the party shows up at the dumping grounds, tossing out broken gear. Latrua explains that their fight with the ogres wrecked most of their equipment. Time to unload the junk. Cut to later that evening. Ivy's made dinner, and everyone's enjoying the meal around a fire. But Ivy's clearly distracted. She's thinking about Seal. These people claim to have killed all the monsters nearby. So if Seal had been hurt, someone would have mentioned it, right? That means Seal's probably okay. At least, she hopes so. Soon, the team gathers around Ivy again, checking in on her. Hey, are you eating enough? Ivy nods and smiles. Then Mila arrives. And with her, 2 tall, intimidating men. Ivy laughs. You guys look like twins? Turns out they're Mila's older brothers, Tolto and Melma. Just then, a group of serious-looking people walk in, including Captain Baroda. He eyes Ivy and says, "So this is the kid you were talking about?" Jack steps in. "Yep, her name's Ivy. We found her in the forest." Baroda nods. "Then take her to Odolwa. That's where she needs to go." Back in her tent, Ivy senses something strange, a presence nearby. She quickly hides Sora in her bag, but nothing happens. The feeling just fades. Was someone really here? Latrua later pops in, totally casual. "Want to help me make breakfast tomorrow?" Ivy nods, still wondering if that strange presence was him. That night, Sora starts acting weird, scared, like something's bothering him. Ivy tries something. She starts naming different members of the Blessing Sword group, and when she says Mila's name, Sora gets visibly more frightened. The next morning, Ivy's handed a registration form. It's time to make her presence in the village official. When asked about her origin, she says she's from Latomi village, and for her guarantor, she names Captain Octo. That stuns Latrua. After the paperwork's done, Ivy is granted a wooden pass, allowing her to travel freely in and out of the village. Later, Captain Baroda pulls the team together. He warns them that the real threat around the town isn't monsters, it's humans. Specifically, a criminal organization involved in slave trading. These guys kidnap people, treat them like property, and sell them off. Baroda says they tried to collect intel, but someone leaked their plans, and the criminals vanished. They need a clue to expose them. That's when Ivy speaks up. She tells them about how she felt someone watching her, even attacking her. She recounts the moment back at her tent, and the strange presence that vanished. Everyone is shocked. Immediately, one of the members casts a magic protection barrier, making sure no one can eavesdrop. Then they start asking questions. When did it start? What exactly happened? Ivy tells them everything, from the jungle ambush to the creeping feeling at night. And that leads them to one unsettling conclusion. Someone from their own squad might be a mole. Baroda asks Latrua, "Do you know who it is?" Latrua, "How would I know? It's not me." Then they ask Ivy if she suspects anyone. Hesitantly, Ivy says it. "I think it might be Mila." Silence. Shock. Everyone's stunned. Latrua refuses to believe it. "No way! Miss Mila would never..." Ivy quickly apologizes. "I'm sorry. Please, forget I said anything." She retreats to her tent and pulls out Sora. And seeing his gentle smile, she remembers the fortune teller's words. "You'll meet people you can trust, but if you hide your secret from them, they may never trust you." That thought lingers in her mind all night. By morning, Ivy steps out and finds everyone huddled, discussing something serious. One of them finally turns to her and says, "Everything you said about Mila, was true. It turns out, not only Mila, but her two brothers were involved as well. They were caught meeting a suspicious merchant. When questioned, they pretended not to know him, but their reaction was off. Something shady was definitely going on. Shefali even went to the trade guild and discovered that merchant had never traded anything before. He had no reason to be there. It was all a setup. The squad thanks Ivy. She gave them the missing piece they needed. Ivy asks, "But why do you guys trust me so much?" Cecil responds with a smile. "Because you once told us, you always have a solid reason for what you do. That's enough for us." Then someone asks, "By the way, why do you always cook for us?" Ivy, "So you all can enjoy good food." "Exactly," they reply. "That's who you are, and that's why we trust you." Moved by their words, Ivy decides it's finally time. She reveals the truth. "I'm a tamer, and the one who warned me about Mila is my slime. His name is Sora." Everyone is stunned. A talking slime? A rare one at that? Ivy rushes to her tent and brings out Sora. The team stares in awe at the transparent little blob glowing softly. Ivy explains, "I don't know much about slimes, but Sora, he can sense bad people. That's how I knew." The group agrees, unanimously. They'll keep Sora's identity a secret. He's special, and he's Ivy's best friend. She smiles warmly. "This is Sora, and he's the most important friend I have." So now everyone's gathered around Sora, and they're in awe. "You've got a rare slime with you? No one's ever seen a slime like this before." One of the guys even starts gushing over Sora like he's a puppy. But Sora? He's not having it. You can almost hear him grumbling, "Bro, back off. You're way too sweet for me." Then comes the fun part. Testing Sora's ability to detect lies. The first up is a guy named Rick, who proudly declares, "I'm the best swordsman in this party." Sora twitches. Ivy immediately calls him out. "Liar." Next, Lockrick points at another guy. "That dude over there? He secretly drank alcohol last night." Sora's reaction confirms it. That's true. Everyone bursts out laughing. But then, the mood shifts. The group starts talking about Mila again. It's still hard to believe that she, someone so respected, turned out to be a traitor. Jack says that if they can catch Mila and her crew, they might finally bring down the whole organization. Ivy, always curious, asks how long this criminal group has been active. The team tells her it started 7 years ago, when children started mysteriously disappearing. Some of the victims eventually escaped and exposed the truth. That's how this entire operation came to light. But here's the scary part. They suspect someone inside their own team has been leaking info. Someone close. But who? Captain Baroda reveals something interesting. A nobleman was the one who promoted Greengale, a group that turned out to be corrupt. Ivy, sharp as ever, connects the dots. Maybe the noble only promoted them to see if you guys were trustworthy. Everyone stares at her, stunned. "You're so wise for someone who's only, how old?" Ivy replies with a cheeky smile. "I'm not 7, I just turned 9 today." And suddenly, everyone starts clapping and celebrating her birthday. Latrua even shouts, "Then happy birthday, kiddo." It's a heartwarming moment, but the shadows of betrayal still linger. Baroda reminds everyone. Ragliff pulls Baroda and Ivy aside and says, "I've got something important for you both." Berelta then gets permission to scan all the adventurers in town. Meanwhile, Bugs leads the group to a hotel that shady merchants were using as a front. He explains, "We raided the place, but they all escaped." Inside, Ivy notices something strange. Sora starts reacting weirdly around one of the guards. Red flag. She alerts Baroda immediately. They run a check. And boom, that guard? Definitely a traitor. Later, they receive the updated list. Out of 150 adventurers, 38 are spies. That's a massive infiltration. But just then, 2 powerful figures enter the room, Count Feltoria and Lord Ferranda. They ask about Ivy, and the others explain that she was targeted by the organization, so they're keeping her safe for now. But the moment Count Feltoria walks in, Sora freaks out. No doubt about it, he's involved. After they leave, Baroda confirms it. The Count, he's with them. He might even be the one pulling the strings. Ivy warns, we didn't get much time with him. We need to keep a close eye on his movements. So the team starts investigating undercover. Inside one of the rooms, Ivy notices a worn-out book on a shelf. She touches it, and a hidden door opens. Behind it, boxes filled with gold, documents, and all the dirty secrets of the criminal organization. They've just uncovered a gold mine, literally and figuratively. Bugs says, let's put everything back exactly how it was. We can't let them know we found this. They exit carefully, making sure everything looks untouched. Back outside, the team warns Ivy, from now on, don't go anywhere alone. If you ever need help, call us. Next, we get a quiet scene. Ivy is filling water using a magical tool, and Latrua casually explains how non-magic users survive in a world like this. Then with a smirk, he asks, "Hey Ivy, are you really a boy?" Caught off guard, Ivy finally admits the truth. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm actually a girl. She makes him promise not to tell anyone. And he agrees. But before anything else can happen, guess who shows up? Mila. With a sweet smile, she says, "Hey Ivy, come with me. There's this amazing dessert shop I know." Latrua decides to tag along, just to be safe. But then Mila adds something strange. "Oh, by the way, we're not going alone. There'll be 5 of us." Ivy's confused. 5? Suddenly, Mila's 2 brothers appear, and that's where things start to get real shady. Next up, the gang heads to a place called Flo, a cozy little dessert shop. At first glance, it looks like a peaceful outing. Mila's brothers even offer sweets to everyone, and they all sit down to enjoy the treats. But something feels off. Latrua cuts straight to the point. "Why'd you invite Ivy here all of a sudden?" They claim it's because Mila had been praising Ivy a lot, and they wanted to meet her. But Ivy isn't buying it. Sora's acting strange again. His behavior is a dead giveaway. These guys, they're dangerous. Her gut instinct? 100% right. And things get weirder. Mila's brothers start messing with Ivy, teasing her. Latrua steps in like a big brother. "Touch her again and I'll turn you into paste." They back off, laughing it off as a joke. But these guys aren't done yet. They even start mocking their own sister. "You only have taming skills, that too? For a slime? That's pathetic." But Ivy speaks up. "That's not true. You've got a great skill. Most people can't appreciate things they don't understand." The brothers just smirk and shift the conversation to money, bragging that they became adventurers only because their skills helped them earn gold. Once they're outside, Latrua asks Ivy about the sweets. She says they were delicious. He then reveals, "The shop owner used to be an adventurer. I know him well. No one can harm you in there." And suddenly, everything clicks for Ivy. Latrua brought them there on purpose, to keep her safe. He suspected Mila's brothers might pull something shady. Heck, they could have even poisoned the food. Latrua then reflects on how times have changed. Back in the day, kids could play freely. Now, it's too dangerous. Someone always has to watch over them. The team's back at base talking about what just happened. Jack looks at Ivy and asks, "Why'd you even go with them? You know they're linked to the criminal organization." Baroda adds that they probably planned to kidnap Ivy in broad daylight, and yet, despite knowing how smart she is, they still tried it, which means these people are playing a long game. Every move they make is calculated. Ivy offers a chilling insight. What if Green Gale is just a front? A puppet? The real mastermind might still be in the shadows. They debate their next move, but Malrek warns, "If we wait too long, this entire country will be crawling with traitors." That's when Ivy drops a bold idea. "What if I'm the bait?" Thanks to her plan, they're finally making the first move. Next up, the big stage. Guildmaster Raglif stands tall as all the adventurers gather before him. "Everyone, meet Ivy, the one who helped uncover the traitors." But just as the tension rises, we cut to Bugs B speaking with one of his allies. They talk about how this organization has slipped through their fingers again and again, to the point where some had even lost hope. Captain Baroda hasn't smiled in days, except when Ivy's name comes up. Suddenly, Shafali rushes in. "Sir, We found signs of monster activity in the forest. Wait, weren't all the monsters wiped out? One might have escaped. We can't take chances. Back at the guild, the adventurers all introduce themselves directly to Ivy. This isn't just a formality. Ragliff wants her to get a feel for who's real and who's a traitor. Then, guess who walks in again? Mila and her two brothers. Once again, they start teasing Ivy. But as always, Latrua's there, right by her side, ready to defend her. Meanwhile, Shafali approaches Bugsby again, this time in secret. I want to tell you everything, but someone might be listening. He sends his companion away and starts using code words to share the plan. Smart. They know spies could be anywhere. Across town, all the adventurers begin mobilizing. Barolda checks the deployment lists and realizes, great. Some of our best people got placed in the trap squad. Ideally, they'd have filled that squad with nothing but traitors, making it easy to wipe them out. But now it's complicated. Still, Bugsby asks the big question. When do we spring the trap? Barolda replies, take them far away. Even if there's a fight, at least the town won't suffer. And with that, the pieces are moving. Ivy's plan is in motion. The fake intel has been dropped. The traitors are stepping into the net. But what happens next? Well, that's where things are about to get real. Scene kicks off at a shady restaurant. And not just any place. This one's known for knocking people out after just a single bite. Latrua's clearly suspicious from the start. They say one bite of the food here and you're out cold. Still, they head in. Ivy, Latrua, Mila, and her two ever-suspect brothers. Mila tries to act casual, offering Ivy a dish called Denzo. Latrua panics. Don't eat that! You'll pass out for sure! But by the time the food arrives, everyone, including Ivy, orders Denzo. And Sora? He's on edge. Ivy notices instantly. Something's wrong. The staff, the brothers, even the owner feels off. That's when Ivy whispers, time to start the operation. Latrua plays his part. He tells the trio there's a top-secret mission, one directly from the Guildmaster. Apparently, a group of adventurers and watchers are being sent into the forest to wipe out monsters, meaning town security will be at its weakest. The bait is set. These three shady siblings fall for it instantly. Wait, why would they send everyone into the forest? Exactly the kind of reaction Latrua was hoping for. Meanwhile, the chef is secretly lacing the food with sedatives. Classic setup. Then, Latrua hits them with the real question. So, how much were you offered to kidnap Ivy? Did you really sell your souls for a few coins? Boom! They freeze! The masks are off now. Mila surrenders immediately. Fine! You caught us! But her brothers? They draw their swords and go for Latrua. What follows is an intense fight scene. Latrua, despite not having a defense skill, holds his own, parrying, dodging, countering like a pro. He takes down Melma, then taunts the other brother. I trained hard for this. Want to see what I've got? Even when they double-team him, Latrua unleashes fire magic to keep them at bay. One uses water magic to dodge it, but before they can regroup, Mila's slime traps them, giving Latrua the opening he needs to take them both down. Mila's next, but suddenly, the owner of Flo shows up. Yep, he's in on it too. Meanwhile, chaos erupts outside. Guards are under attack. Traitors are moving in. Two guards overhear the plan. The enemies are trying to steal critical documents, but they don't even know who to trust anymore. Just then, Count Feltoria arrives and praises the traitors. You've done well. He tries to enter the secure area, but boom, the trap springs. Sirens wail. Smoke fills the air. One by one, everyone, even Feltoria, collapses, knocked out cold by the gas. Out in the forest, the rest of the enemy forces attack Bugsby and his squad. Unaware they've walked right into another trap. Suddenly, 1,000 volts of magical shock slam into them. Screams echo through the trees. It's brutal. Baroda and the rest of the team sweep in, taking out every last traitor. An adventurer stares in shock. What is going on here? Baroda doesn't hesitate. These are traitors. Help us finish the job. Soon it's over. They've captured all of them. One of the traitors pleads, Captain, what are you doing? But Bugsby is cold and clear. We investigated every one of you. You betrayed us. Aggro adds, and now you'll pay the price. Some of them still deny it, but Aggro doesn't care. He hits them with another wave of electric punishment. Meanwhile, Ivy becomes the hero of the hour. Everyone thanks her. Even the guards are escorting Count Feltoria out. But the Count? He's still arrogant. You don't know what you're doing. You just crossed a noble. Just as tensions rise again, Lord Ferranda appears. Actually, we do know what we're doing. The guildmaster told me everything about you. And then the townspeople arrive. They're furious. Bring the traitors out. We'll burn them alive. The crowd is ready for justice. Angry, fed up, and finally, the truth has come out. This arc is building toward a huge turning point. Ivy's bold plan worked, but the war's not over yet. If this is just the beginning, we can only imagine what's coming next. So just when the angry townspeople were about to take justice into their own hands, Bugsby steps forward. Everyone calm down. These traitors will be punished, but not with a quick death. That would be too easy. I want them to suffer. He wasn't being cruel. He was being smart. Ivy realizes that if the townsfolk took revenge, they'd only get themselves in trouble. Bugsby convinces them to back off. And just then, Barolda steps in. Ivy, there's still one last thing left to do, and we see a whole new group of adventurers lined up in front of them. Ivy instantly knows what's going on. Wait, do we need to investigate them too? Turns out, yes. Some of these people were spotted near the enemy organization's base. No one's above suspicion anymore. Ivy and Sora immediately get to work. After the investigation, Bugsby shares something huge. Out of the 58 people on the wanted list, we've only caught 45. Ivy is shocked. That means the enemy is way bigger than they thought. Bugsby then hands Ivy a paper. This is your reward. Golden coins. 150 ladal. All yours. Ivy does the math, and it blows her mind. Wait, I'd have to sell 150,000 rats to earn this much. She signs it. And just like that, she's officially recognized for everything she's done. Later, we see her back in the forest, checking her traps, but no luck. Then, CL shows up to help her catch some rabbits and rats, and when they sell it all off, jackpot. Nura kilogram. Even the butcher praises her. You always bring me the freshest meat. Thanks to you, business is booming. That night, a celebration begins. The guildmaster thanks everyone for their efforts in exposing the enemy organization. Jack and the others thank Ivy too. And here comes the twist. Count Veltoria actually confessed to his crimes. Yup, they've got proof. Case closed. When Ivy asks about Green Gale, the GM confirms he was just a pawn. And about Mila? She helped in the end. So they'll go easy on her punishment. We see Mila in jail thinking, at least I won't have to live a life of crime anymore. Finally, some peace. Then something unexpected happens. The guildmaster turns to Ivy. Thank you. And your friend too. Ivy is confused. Jack explains. He knows about you and Sora. We had to tell him. Sorry. Even Barolda reveals that the GM already knew about the magical orb. So the secret was never really secret. Ivy apologizes, but the GM is surprisingly kind. I understand why you hid the truth. When Ivy brings out her transparent slime, the GM is stunned. I've never seen a slime like that before. It's rare. Everyone now tries to convince Ivy to stay in the town. Even the GM says, if you don't have a strong reason to go to the capital, you can stay here. You're welcome. But Ivy remembers something. A prophecy. A fortune teller's words. And then she shares her truth. I don't have a star. I'm starless. And she tells them her whole backstory. How her hometown cast her out for not having a star. How she ran. How she survived. Everyone listens in silence. Jack says, you're strong, Ivy. I'm proud of you. Bugsby adds, and don't worry. We'll keep your secret safe. They all agree to protect her truth. Ivy smiles and thanks them, but then says something no one expects. I'm ready to continue my journey. Everyone is stunned. You're leaving? Again? But Ivy explains, she's finally learned what that fortune teller meant. She's met people she can trust. People who've shown her kindness. I want to do something. Not for myself, but for others. Even if I don't have a star, I do have friends. And when you have that, any journey is possible. She looks around at everyone happy and smiling. This is real happiness. The next day, it's time to say goodbye. Everyone shows up to see Ivy off. One by one, they hand her magical items, parting gifts for her journey. Before she goes, Bugsby gives her one last bit of insight. That slime of yours. It's only here because you tamed it. You don't have much magic, and that slime is weak, but only you could have bonded with it. And Ivy realizes meeting Sora wasn't an accident. As she walks away, everyone waves her off, but suddenly they're shocked. Standing beside Ivy is a massive, terrifying monster. Wait, it's not just any monster. It's CL. That's right. Ivy is now traveling with both Sora and CL, ready to face whatever comes next. And as she sets off, she says, I may not have a star, But I have something just as powerful. Friends. And with them by my side, no path is too difficult.